still hear a sound. Someone still around. She heard me calling. She heard me say her name, but she hides away now.
Hi everyone, and as you can see we have moved the post out of the way. I've started moving all this hardcore out of the way so we can get this drain run in. We've got the post down there as you saw. However, we have a bit of a problem. The time lapse of me clearing up here was cut short by quite a catastrophic, let's say, explosion. Have a look at this. So as you can see, I have taken apart old Casey Nice Track, my 1996 CK15. Yeah, we have a little bit of an issue, but the good thing about this is I know what the issue is straight away, because as you can see here, we have oil everywhere. Now, I was lifting up a bucket full of sand and I was just moving this section over there so we can get the drain run in, and basically one of the hydraulic lines burst. It exploded all over the place. So we have a little bit of an issue. I have worked out that it is this cable here, this pipe here, but I've pulled up the floorboards. I pulled up the floor to find out exactly what's happening. So being not very mechanically minded whatsoever, I'm assuming it's a case of tracing this pipe through under here into here, and you just unscrew it at one end, unscrew the other end, and just put a new one in. Now that is my understanding of it. Now I could probably spend all day, probably not today, but all day today and probably all day tomorrow trying to fix this and then trying to find a hydraulic pipe to replace it. Again, I don't know where to get all these from. I'm not a mechanic at all. Frankly, I haven't got a clue about cars. Funny enough, talking about that, I dropped my truck off at the garage today because one of the straps of the fuel tank snapped off, so the fuel tank was dangling off, and I think there's something loose around the fan belt area. Anyway, so today's a bit of a mechanical, what do we say? A bit of a broken mechanical kind of day. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is, those of you who are more OG subscribers may remember a while back when the track was playing up, I called up a guy and he came around and fixed it. I'm going to call up that same guy and see if he can come around and basically sort of replace the hydraulic hose. I might actually get him to replace all the hydraulic hoses, because if one's popped then there's a chance that more than one will pop. Anyway, so I'm going to give him a buzz now and we'll see if he can come around and have a look. Right, so let's give this guy a call and see what can be done, if anything. I hope so, but yeah, let's see what can happen. It's ringing, that's a start.
Please leave your message after the tone and I will get back to you. Thank you.
This is Rodian. You came and had a look at my digger back in the summer. I'm just wondering if you could give me a call back. I have just had a hydraulic hose pop on me and I was wondering if it's something you'd be interested in coming to fix for me. Cheers mate, thank you, bye. Okay, so left him a message. We'll see if he gets back to me, if and when, hopefully when. Yeah, he's pretty good, so hopefully he'll get back to me. Until then, I'm going to have some lunch now and then we'll sort of start tackling the drainage down the other side of the house. It's going to be a little bit longer than I was expecting, because I could probably still use the digger to do it, just not use that particular hydraulic. But if it's squirting out oil everywhere, it's just going to run out of hydraulic oil straight away, and I've only got like half a tub left. Anyway, I'm going to have my lunch and then I'll come back to you and we'll sort of start discussing what's going to happen with the rest of the drainage. And we're back. Just had my lunch and it was lovely, thank you very much for asking. I've got a load of pipe around here and a load of tools all set up ready so that we can get the drainage run set in this side. Now I have a feeling that I'm going to set this in and I might even take it out again, but I'll explain why. Firstly, there is a drain run right here, and I don't know if you can see under here, I just dug out a little bit to find the pipe itself. It's down there. I know there's no P shingle on that because I only set that in there briefly when I put it in. But I have a feeling I might have to lift that drain run out and lift all the pipe out under here. It goes all the way to the other end around there. I may have to lift it out and move that over a fraction to see if this pipe will fit through there. But I don't really mind that, because also the other reason why I might have to dig that drain out is because all this earth on the side needs moving and we need to put a footing in for a retaining wall. Something I've been putting off for a long time. Anyway, the main reason I want to put this drain run in, even though I may even take it out again once I've done it, is because I want to make sure I can get the right fall from the corner of the house to this pipe down here to go into the soakaway. The last thing I want to do is set it out at the other end, come down here, and it ends up going uphill. not what we want to do. So I want to set it all out, get the nice falls, come out here into this drain run. I did get a message, I did get a comment in yesterday's video, the video before, from a ground worker saying that you can put rainwater drains in pretty much level. That's interesting to know, I did not know that. It makes sense because it's always just going to run one way, but I'd rather have it a little full, so hence why we're going to set that out, get out here, and unfortunately I'm going to have to dig this trench by hand unless I can somehow magically make this fixed by, I don't know, the next sort of hour or so. But anyway, we're probably going to have to dig that out by hand. But that is the reason why we're going to get that drainage set out now. But on the plus side, we don't have to dig anything out at the moment because the earth has already been dug down. Until we get to here and run through there, then we're going to have to start digging. Before we get on with this drainage, I just want to try something out, a little segment, a 1 minute tool review. So I'm going to do today a 1 minute tool review of my Stanley Fat Max Premium pocket knife. Cool, that was quite a mouthful. But yeah, just a quick 1 minute review. And yeah, there's a few aspects of this knife that I think you guys might be very interested in hearing about. Before I start talking about this knife, there's just something I quickly want to say. I bought this out of my own money. Stanley have not sent this to me. Stanley have not asked me to review it in any way, shape or form. It's just something that I would like to do. So yeah, I have no affiliation with Stanley whatsoever. This is an unbiased review and it's just quickly me sharing my thoughts about what I think of it. Okay, so this is the Stanley Fat Max Premium pocket knife. It is a lock knife, as you can see, locks in and out of place. The main handle is made out of aluminium and the blade is stainless steel. It is a combination blade. You have the sharp section here, this sharp straight blade here, and as you can see, it is serrated at the bottom. There is also a bottle opener on it. Where is it? There's a bottle opener here, and we also have a tether here, so you can put a lanyard on it or attach it to whatever it is you'd like. Maybe a bit of fishing line, you can throw it at the labourer. Don't do that, for Christ's sake, do not do that. So yeah, there's a tether there, and like I said, it is a lock knife, so once it closes, I'm forcing that with as much pressure as I can, and it's not going to open, it's not going to close, so you have to push the little bar aside, and then that will close it up. Okay, so my original thoughts. This is incredibly sharp straight out of the box. The serrated blade comes in very useful, as you probably saw earlier in the video. I was cutting the rope with it. Yeah, it's extremely sharp. It is very handy. I much prefer it to a normal Stanley knife, apart from for one reason. The one reason which I can't 100% recommend this as the best knife that you can buy. Otherwise, I would say this would be the best knife you could buy. This is fantastic at cutting anything. The only thing it really sucks at is sharpening a pencil. Let me quickly show you. So here I have my old Stanley knife. Again, it is a lock knife, but as you can tell, it has blades in it which are interchangeable, like so. This one is really rusty. I don't really use this that often, apart from when I want to sharpen a pencil, because observe, this is quite blunt, but you can sharpen that. I'll tell you what, this is probably the wrong blade to use, but it sharpens it quite nicely. Now let me show you the other knife. I don't know if this comes across on camera, but it is really bad, like really bad at sharpening pencils. It's almost like you have to really force it to cut that bit of wood off, and last thing you want is to have to force to do that. Using the serrated part is not so bad, but still, it is absolutely rubbish at sharpening a pencil. Like I said, you can use the serrated part, but Stanley, if you made a knife that was basically this knife, but with this section maybe that flips out the back of it, I'd say that is the best knife you could buy, because everything that this, in my opinion, everything that this can't do, like this will cut bits of tarpaulin, bits of roofing felt, sharpen your pencil, things like that. But this blade, it is much better at cutting through insulation. You can cut your Celotex at a nice size. Again, this serrated edge comes in very handy if you don't have a saw to hand like I showed you earlier, where I was cutting through that rope. It's absolutely perfect. This combination blade is just so helpful, and just the large blade just does come in a lot more handy than you would probably think that it does. And also, it's a bit of a pry bar, like if there's something that needs popping out, or you just want to get in a little corner and pop something out, this comes in very handy. Whereas with the Stanley blade, these blades just snap. This blade is very I don't want to say very strong, but it hasn't even bent when I've tried to pry things out. So there we go. Hopefully that was probably over a minute, you know what I'm like. But there we go. That is a quick review of the Stanley Fatmax Premium Pocket Knife. If you are interested in either of these knives, then I will leave links down in the description to both of them, so you can go down and check them out and see about prices. I think this one is around 20 quid, I'm not 100% sure, and this one, in all honesty, I can't remember how much that is. But there we go. Stanley, if you ever end up watching this, please do make a knife that encompasses both of these. That would be very handy, and I would hands down buy it. So there we go. That is a quick review, probably not a 1 minute review, but a quick review of the Stanley Fatmax Premium Pocket Knife. Okay, let's get back to the drainage. As you can see, we still have a little bit more to dig out for this bit of pipe work, so I can get that in and start messing about with that sort of corner trap there. I had a little bit of an issue with that, but we are going to have to tackle with that tomorrow, because I've just been on the phone for sort of, I don't even know how long, but quite a while, having a few discussions. And also my truck needs picking up from the garage down the road, so I have to go and do that now. So what I'm going to do is we are going to finish this off tomorrow. Please do leave a like down below if you have enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you aren't already, ring the notification bell to be notified every time I upload a video, and I'll see you all tomorrow. So take care, and I'll see you then. Ta-ra.